Hey, it's Trent. Welcome to video 3 of the 5-part series on how to learn all of the notes on your guitar. So what we've covered so far is the first 3 keys around the circle of fourths. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. It's not that important that you understand that concept. Maybe you do already, I don't know. But the way I'm presenting it to you is in a pattern that I like to practice it in and I find extremely useful. Once you feel comfortable with the exercise, you can practice it in any way that you want that covers all 12 keys. It doesn't matter, but the important part is that you are touching on all the different keys and you're not just focusing on a couple that you know well. You want to practice the ones that you don't know as well so you get better at them. So let's review what we've gone over so far. You should recognize some patterns emerging as you learn this exercise and practice it. You'll notice that as you're switching strings, to get to the same note on the next string, you're either going to go forward 7 frets or back 5 frets. Unless, of course, you're going from the 3rd to the 2nd string, in which case it would be forward 8 frets or back 4 frets due to the difference in tuning between those two strings. You'll notice this as you go through, and eventually that'll help you find these notes more easily and quickly and get into the rhythm of this pattern, which it actually is a pretty fun exercise to play, I think at least. Maybe I'm a nerd. It's probably true, but I think it is. As these movements become more natural to you, you'll find that in your regular playing, you will recognize where certain notes are where you may not have known them before, and it'll start to demystify, especially the center of the guitar, which can be hard to understand what all the notes are in there. So hopefully this can peel back some of the layers that are keeping you from understanding the instrument on a deeper level. So now let's go to the first key that we're going to cover today, which is the key of G. I like to mention that if you think about your open G chord, there are 3 notes in this exercise that are in the open G chord. So there's 3 different G's on the 6th string, the 3rd string, and the 1st string that all correspond to your open G chord. So keep that in mind as you're practicing these keys that correspond to one of the primary open chords. That can help you internalize this exercise a little bit better and relate it to something you already know. Make sure that you're getting each string along the way and then practice them in succession from the 6th string through the 1st string before moving on. Next, we're going to look at the note C. So same thing applies. Look at the C major open chord. There's 2 C's out of the 6 that we're going to pick out that are in that chord. So keep an eye out for that as you're practicing this exercise. Okay, so the final note that we're going to add to this video is the note F. Check this out. Okay, so the last step of today's video is to put all of it together. We're going to start at the beginning at E, and we're going to work our way through the 6 keys that we've covered so far. And that brings us halfway through the circle of fourths, which means we've covered half of the notes that there are. So this is a midway point, and this is a great point at which to assess how you're doing with this concept. And I suggest going through this once a day once you get it under your hands. If you find this a little bit challenging to follow along with, go back to one of the previous lessons and work through the practice along videos that I've provided at practicemakesbettermusic.com to work up to the point where this feels comfortable. So here is the full 6 keys. That's all for today's lesson. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.